one of nature's most iconic treasures, the largest island off Africa's mainland, Madagascar. Nearly all species that live here occur nowhere else on Earth. Strange creatures, as if from another planet. Above all, the charismatic lemurs. The Indri is the largest among them. But the world of the lemurs is changing fast. The rainforest of Indri in the east of Madagascar. A refuge for many strange creatures. Among them, a true jumping superstar. It covers up to 10 meters in a single bound. The Indri, one of the most unusual primates on Earth. The Indris have spent the night in their sleeping trees. While most of the family members are still snoozing, the oldest female of the group is already wide awake. Like every morning, the Indri's day starts with a ritual. The clan leader begins to sing. Her aim, to get the attention of the rest of the family. The wake-up call works. Finally, they're all ready for their choir session. Their calls can be heard up to 2 kilometers away. With their voices, the Indri define their territories, clarifying boundaries with rival neighbors. The female listens intently. When she decides that all is safe, she ends the song. Her sensitive reaction to the calls of other families has a good reason. Rainforest plants are poor in nutrients. In addition, Indris mainly eat the leaves and fruit of a small number of trees. They require a large territory to survive. The family consists of 3 juveniles and a single adult male. Their bond is strong. However, they seldom spend time this close together. Only if they spread out over the whole region are they able to utilize the food resources efficiently. Indris are monogamous. The pair will spend their whole lives together. The female is only in estrus a few days of the year. Her partner must get the timing precisely right to ensure the next generation can be sired successfully. Madagascar is an island of extremes. The west is dry and hot. Annual temperatures lie above 30 degrees Celsius. Thorny forests and mighty baobab trees dominate the land. Remnants of rich rainforests lie in the wet eastern regions. Here, rainfall is up to 4 times higher than in the west. A hot, humid climate dominates this side of the island. The Indri resides exclusively in these eastern forests. Contacts with terrestrial residents are rare. With lowland street tenrecs, for example. Like the Indri, their range is also limited to Madagascar. The small animal superficially resembles a hedgehog. The female is pregnant. She's on the lookout for a suitable shelter where she can give birth. Her sensitive nose guides her. The hollow tree looks promising. A perfect nursery, well concealed in the undergrowth. Many dangers lurk in the forest. The Malagasy tree boa is one of them. It hunts for smaller mammals, reptiles, and birds. The boa has warmed up in the morning sun and is now looking for an ideal place to ambush prey. Tenrecs, for example. Between October and April, it's rainy season in the east of Madagascar. The female Indri has separated herself from the family. She's waiting for the birth of her baby. As Madagascar's largest lemur, Indris are almost exclusively active during the day. But this is not the case in all lemur species. Especially the dwarves among them are active at night. A mouse lemur. It's tiny, a flyweight, at just 30 grams. At the back of its huge eyes, a reflecting layer of cells amplifies what light there is. To get up to speed, the little one needs a stimulant, a power drink that covers branches and twigs. What is this unusual food source, and where does it come from? It gets turbulent in the lemur's territory. Young, flatted leaf bugs rush along the twigs. Every animal looks for an ideal site, boring into the bark to drink the plant sap. A single cicada is a little too late. It must hurry. The best spots get taken quickly. A short confrontation with the neighbor, and the sap sucking begins. The surplus is excreted as honeydew. It doesn't take long before the nutritious liquid covers twigs and leaves. The sweet solution attracts insects. They all love honeydew. And the mouse lemur loves insects. He is in hunting mode. The small lemur hears extremely well. By listening to the rustling sounds of moths, it determines how big the prey is and if it's worth catching. Unlike their big relatives, the Indris, the ranges of these lemurs often overlap. Unexpected guests are quite common. While its neighbor relishes the spoils, the hunt begins anew. Hidden in the hollow tree stump, the female tenrec has given birth to 8 little ones. At birth, they weigh no more than 8 grams and look for warmth and shelter with their mother. Their eyes are still closed, but this doesn't stop them from fighting for the best place at the most productive teat. The contest tires them out. The little tenrecs spend most of their time sleeping. In just a few days, they will already leave their hideout. Something has also changed up in the trees with the female Indri. Very recently, she had a young one. Indri only give birth every 2 or 3 years. A treasure which they guard carefully. In the first weeks, the mother is extremely cautious. She spends most of her time hiding high up in the treetops. She even avoids contact with her family. Film footage of such young Indri is something of a rarity. Like all newborns, the little male is almost always tired. During the few hours it's not asleep, it explores its surroundings. The little Indri is born into a time of plenty. After the rain, new green sprouts everywhere. During the first few days, the youngster mainly stays clenched to the belly of its mother. Only later will he climb onto the female's back. But at this point, its perch isn't completely secure. Quick movements or big leaps by the mother could end in a deadly fall. As if in a cradle, it lies on the belly of its mother, searching for the teats in the dense fur. Suddenly, the mother gets nervous. A stranger has entered her territory. The mother avoids all conflict, not willing to risk the precious life of her baby. The intruder is a young female. Before Indris reach sexual maturity, they're kicked out of the territory by their parents, so they often look for contact with other groups. Now is a bad time for this. The newborn requires its mother's undivided attention. Is the territory large enough to harbor another one of their species? The Indri's realm has continually shrunk during the last decades. Hardly 100 meters separate mother and child from civilization. As everywhere on Madagascar, the population in the once sleepy town of Andazi Bay is growing apace. This leads to an ever-increasing demand for food. More farmland is needed. It's the constant slash and burn clearance that continues to change the country. The deforestation of the island already began 2,000 years ago, when the island was first settled by humans. Since then, men have been ruthlessly effective. Once tall trees covered these hills. Today, none of this remains. Rainforests were turned into arable land. Besides the rising demand for rice paddies, a growing number of fields are being readied for cattle breeding. In rural areas, most production flows to the cities. Population is growing dramatically from year to year. While in 1960, 5 million people lived on Madagascar, today numbers have risen to over 25 million. A vicious circle. Originally, 90% of the east of the island was covered by forests. Nowadays, only 10% of the jungle is left. In the remaining rainforests, the animals must fight for their survival. Some are hard to find. This brownleaf chameleon is no larger than a little finger. It would comfortably fit on a matchbox. On the ground, its camouflage is near perfect. But a life on leaves also has disadvantages. The lightweight is constantly threatened with a loss of balance. Despite this handicap, it needs to hold its own in the rainforest. When the spider notices the chameleon, it's already within striking distance. What follows is astonishing. Instead of fleeing, the arachnid begins a strange game of misdirection. It seems as if the spider is dancing, so the attacker is not sure where it should aim its sticky tongue. The chameleon hesitates. A moment too long. Not exactly a lucky day. In the forest undergrowth, a special event is about to occur. After less than 2 weeks, the young tenrecs leave their hideout for the first time. There's much to explore. While some enthusiastically investigate the forest floor, others already practice the art of climbing. Streaked tenrecs live a life in the fast lane. The young develop quickly. In just a few weeks, they could already produce their own offspring. Till then, there's a lot to learn. The baby Indri also has progress to report. Until recently, it still relied on its mother's milk. For a few days now, it has started trying some vegetarian food. For the mother, the quiet times are over. From now on, she will have to pay even more attention to her offspring. And then there is still this young female from a foreign family. For days now, she's been hanging around nearby and can't be shaken off. Once again, the Indri mother flees with her young. The intruder follows. Her attempt to make contact remains unsuccessful. The mother wants nothing to do with her. It seems like the stranger is giving up. Usually, female Indri spend the first few months alone with their offspring in the rainforest. But after this incident, the mother seeks comfort and closeness with the male. For the first time, he meets his son. Finally, the mother can relax. But something spoils the family time. The intruding female has followed the mother. Will she accept the young female? Or will she chase her away? She has to decide soon. Food is scarce in the nutrient-poor rainforest. The family requires a large territory to be able to survive. Residents down below get by with far less space. Quite a few of them pretend to be something they are not. The Malagasy leaf-nosed snake has perfected this trick. The pencil-thin snake searches for insects and small reptiles. To remain unnoticed, it follows the shape of the twig. This animal is also outstandingly camouflaged in the forest. The Parsons chameleon is one of the largest chameleons on Earth. This giant can reach 70 centimeters. Just like the leaf-nosed snake and the tiny brownleaf chameleon, this heavyweight lives exclusively in the rainforests of Madagascar. It devours almost everything, even other chameleons. The Parsons chameleon is very successful because it moves unobtrusively, despite its size. David meets Goliath. Only when the little one freezes does it remain invisible. It works. The giant remains empty-handed. In the jungle of Bay, the right strategy determines life or death. Some of the species that live on Madagascar resemble animals more familiar to us in their appearance and behavior. Just a few weeks after their birth, the young tenrecs have already been weaned. They enthusiastically begin searching for food. Neither mole nor hedgehog occur on Madagascar, so the tenrecs have taken their place here. They feed mainly on earthworms, and these are plentiful. With their sensitive noses, they sniff out their prey that hides under leaves or lives deep in the soil. For the plum-sized young, the worms present a true challenge. Over time, they will learn to swallow their slimy prey in a single gulp. On Madagascar, the hedgehog is not the only missing animal. Many species never made it here from Africa. Woodpeckers, for example. An animal that has developed a very similar food-finding strategy only shows up after dark. an eyeeye, also a lemur. As night falls, it begins with its search for food. In some languages, it's also called finger animal. The oversized middle finger plays a vital role in foraging. To find its favorite food, beetle larvae, it examines dead wood by tapping it. Once it has found something, it starts digging with another finger. There's only one thing that could bother an eyeeye while it's feeding. A second eyeeye. As tasty as the larva may be, there's no chance of tolerating a competitor. Once its fellow creature has been evicted from the area, it's back to work again. If the larvae tunnels are too long, the lemur gets another option out of its bag of tricks. Sharp incisors that cut through the rotten wood. The eyeeye is an absolute specialist. Teeth and fingers are finely tuned tools. In this way, a food source has become accessible that no other lemur species can reach. But it's precisely this specialization that makes the eyeeye dependent. If the trees disappear, there is no chance for survival. How extreme the threat posed by ever-increasing habitat loss is illustrated by the Indri mother and her son. In the morning hours, there was another meeting with the intruding female. The young one has injured its eye, probably while fleeing. The mother is nervous. The young one seems distraught. Every time they meet the intruder, it means increased levels of stress. The ever-shrinking natural habitat leads to extreme situations. The juvenile tenrecs are becoming increasingly independent. One is already going its own way, further exploring its surroundings. The young tenrec does not remain undiscovered for long. A tree boa has waited patiently. It's an ambush hunter. Only when its prey is very close will it strike. Following the tenrec is an unusual strategy. Maybe it's lucky that it fell from the tree at precisely this moment. The young streaked tenrec is up and away. Only now does the runaway realize that it's alone. Mother and siblings didn't notice its disappearance. Time to put the emergency signal system to use. The little one sends out an acoustic signal by rubbing together specialized spines on its back. The SOS reaches the mother. She must remain with the rest of the family, but she can still help. She sends a return signal that is audible over 10 meters away. From now on, mother and child remain in constant contact. This is important because there is no direct path to achieve the reunion. For the young tenrec, the route is a tricky one. No other mammal on the planet communicates in this way. Made it. The little tenrec is back with its family. A family reunion is what the young female Indri also longs for. All attempts to achieve this with the new mother remain fruitless. Another day alone. Malagasy people believe that humans descended from Indris. According to one legend, two brothers lived in the forests until one decided to leave to cultivate the land instead. He became the first human. The Indri that remained in the forest now sings every morning to bemoan the loss of his brother. the legend ends here. In reality, the story runs a different course. The brother returns, driven by extreme poverty, with tools and machines in tow. Gemstones lure the Malagasys into the most remote rainforests, full of hope to achieve quick riches. In droves, they exploit more and more new mines in the search for gems, which are particularly widespread on this island. Conditions are tough. There is no clean water, rivers are contaminated, and food is scarce. Madagascar's constantly swelling population continues to require more land and food. For their brother, the Indri, there is no place. One of the last remaining refuges is the rainforest of Andasibe. The young Indri is doing better again. The injury near its eye has healed. Its appetite has also returned. The mother now gives the youngster more space. The intruder is still close, following the mother's trail. She has no choice. She must find a new family. To achieve this, she needs to enter a stranger's territory. The mother is under pressure. She doesn't want to place her baby in harm's way again. Now she must make a decision. And accepts the intruder. The family now has a new member. The future will show whether the Andasibe forest can provide for them all. Some of the most unusual animals in the world live in the rainforests of Madagascar. Many are highly specialized and only occur here, just like the Indri. The jungle is their playground, a playground that is getting ever smaller. Many species are already threatened with extinction today. Possibly, none will remain in a few decades.